You're listening to Perfectly Normal. This is a podcast where I bring you love, courage, and connection. I'm your host, Michelle Quay. I'm a confidence and leadership coach where I work with negative self-talkers to get them to believe in the talent that they have in reaching their full potential in both personal and professional life. I'm the founder of Elevate Life Coaching. It's a coaching and seminar company. Welcome to the show. All right, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast. This week, wow. What day is it today anyway? This is something that I had a conversation earlier this morning with one of the coach from the iPad community. And so this morning I was doing a live on the iPad coaching Facebook community. And before we jump onto the show, before we jump on live, I had this conversation with this coach who's the director of iPad coaching. And she and I were talking, and the time came up. I think I might have done an episode on time management. What is time? Time is something that's relative. Why is time relative? Because when you are in that moment, doing things that you love, when you're in that moment of whether it's pain, it's something that's very enjoyable, as long as you are immersed in that moment, you forget time. Agree? Yes, right? If you really truly enjoy something and you are doing it, you're doing it right now, and you feel passionate about it, you feel that you are 100% engaged into that activity, then chances are you are very likely to forget about time, because time is something that's relative and something that becomes irrelevant when you are within that present moment. So what I shared with her was that in the present moment. So a lot of us, going through our everyday life, we're living in the future, we're living in the past, but it's really difficult and sometimes can be very challenging to be living in the present moment. I mean, living the present moment, that's a big word. What does that mean to live in the present moment? Does that mean that you don't look into the future? Does that mean that you stop planning for things that you want to do because you want to live in that present moment? So you go from moment to moment and you don't look ahead, right? Because looking ahead, sometimes we anticipate that anxiety and that fear will start rising. So how do you live in the present moment and still being able to focus on your goals and actually having a plan in moving forward in your life? And that is probably where a lot of people get really stuck on, because we all know that we want to be mindful, we want to live in the present moment. And this is like topic, there's a lot of experts that talk about staying in the present moment. But this is also where a lot of question that comes up as, I get it, it's a big theory, it's a big concept, how do I do it? So the way that I've been doing it, the way that I've been staying in my present moment is one thing that's really worked for me well. It's not meditation. Sometimes I'm guilty of not doing my meditation. So I have this tracking stickers in my notebook, right? And I put down meditation. And sometimes I will circle it and sometimes I don't. Like, for example, this week, Monday through up until Thursday today, I only circle two circles on my meditation tracker. I meditated on Tuesday. I meditated this morning. I don't necessarily meditate every day. What really get me into that present moment and staying out of my mind is doing something that's creative. when you do something that's creative, whether it's music, art, writing, singing, talking, speaking, you could be reading something, you could be riding your bicycle, going somewhere, whatever that you do, that activity, that channel, you start to channel all your focus into doing that in that very moment, you are staying in the present moment, because there's nothing else that's out there that matters to you anymore. And for that very brief second or moments or hours, you become 100% engaged. Your intuition is at its peak. So you might have noticed that a lot of people who do creative work, a lot of these ideas come from the fact that they are staying and keeping themselves very active or very creative, because your intuition are at its best during the time that your mind is quiet, you're 100% engaged, you're focusing on the activity that's in front of you rather than being distracted, looking around at all these, the shiny objects all around you. Those are the time that you become more intuitive and you make a better decisions when you become more intuitive. So the way that it's been working for me is there's a couple of things I do. I definitely do exercise. I work out. So during my workout time, I really enjoy walking on the treadmill. And it took me a lot of courage and it took me a lot of practice to actually being able to walk on the treadmill. I know initially when I first saw the treadmill, I was thinking to myself, there's no way I'm going to be on a treadmill. I never walk on a treadmill. I can't walk on a treadmill. And then so it always helps when someone else, there's a mentor who guides you and there's someone else who's, being your soundboard to bounce off idea with you. And so when I started to go into the gym, I had this personal trainer and he was really extremely helpful to me. He's my mentor. He was my mentor who taught me how to start the treadmill, because never in my life, and you wouldn't believe this, I lived through 40 years of my life and I've never operated a treadmill. So the first time I got onto the treadmill, I didn't know that you can adjust the how fast you want to go, and how do you even turn it on. I didn't know how to do that. So he walked me through how to turn it on, how to adjust the speed. And I remember I was using very slow speed when I first got on. And he said, well, can you do like maybe slow and slowly work your way up to the speed that you feel comfortable with? And so I started to do that. And ever since, I got onto the treadmill, those moments during the cardio is really my moment where I stay in the present moment. And believe it or not, a lot of these business ideas I have for my coaching business, a lot of these ideas about the content that I'm creating, even, this podcast, it was arise from being on the treadmill and then walking, and ideas just coming to my head because I was so focused in doing just walking. And that allows me to tap into my intuition. And when my intuition started telling me, hey, Michelle, this is something that you ought to do. So I listened to my intuition. And this is another thing about your intuition. It's an inspiration that comes to you out of the blue. And in order to have that, you have to have a quiet mind. And, meditation may not work for you. Great. Let's find something else that works for you. So exercising, doing cardio work for me. Other things that have worked for me include painting. So I love to paint. And in my room, I have a lot of painting that's on my wall. And I actually ran out of places to hang these. So once we go back to being able to network, I'm going to bring a lot of my artwork and just kind of do a raffle it off because I ran out of places to hang them. So that's another thing that I really enjoy doing, just painting, doing something creative. I also do writing. I love to write. I love journaling, and that's also another creative things that I do. I create these little colorful painting and little side drawings to fill up the empty space in my journal. So that's also something that's very creative that I'm doing. So whatever that you find that can wake up your creativity, I want you to start thinking about doing it more. The more that you do it, the more that your mind begins to slow down, because we're all constantly going from somewhere, and so is our mind. Our mind is just constantly running. When you sit down and doing something creative, your mind you're putting a rest to your mind. So doing something creative, I would encourage you to, find something that's creative that you enjoy doing, whether it's some type of activity that you choose to do. It can be riding a bicycle. I know a lot of people are riding bicycle nowadays because, the gym is closed. So people actually bought bicycle. And so they're taking out their bicycle and they're biking. Biking is fun. I remember when I was little, I used to have this bike and I would ride it. And I think I shared with you guys a couple of episodes ago when I was riding my bike, and I believe I was only 9 years old. And I remember it was very specific, and this is how I remember it. It was one afternoon, and it was just around the time I first learned how to ride a bicycle. So I brought my bike out and I rode out. And in the neighborhood where I used to live in Taiwan, it's a very quiet and safe neighborhood. So in the afternoon, usually there's not a whole lot of cars going on, and we ride in it's kind of like a community setting. So it's not gate. It's not like here, you see a lot of community that's gated, but it's not gated. But it's kind of like houses, one row after another. So I was just riding in these community, and I kept going in circle, going around. And I remember I was so engaged in riding that bicycle, I completely lost track of time. And I must have rode the bicycle for hours, until my mom called me and said, "Hey, Michelle, you need to come home to eat. It's dinner time." And then I realized that it was getting dark outside. So I rode from probably like around 3-4 in the afternoon all the way to like 5-6 o'clock when the sun was set. And it was just the most amazing experience that I ever had. And when you were a kid, you didn't understand like how to interpret it. But as I got older and as I got more awakened, to knowing my higher self, my higher power, I realized that moment was the time where I completely tap out, and I was really, really engaging my intuition. And it felt really out of the body kind of experience. And I really, truly enjoyed it. So every time that I feel I am lost, overwhelmed, or kind of just my mind just doesn't know, I don't know what to do next, what I typically do is I give myself some time, take a deep breath, and I do something creative. It could be creating a website. So yesterday I was feeling that because, this week has been pretty hectic for me, especially working in the hospital. And for some reason, this week has been really busy. And so when I came back to my office, when I started doing my own, coaching business, got back to my office, and I felt there's so much to do. There's so many things I need to take care of, and I didn't know where to start. So I decided that I was going to update my website. and updating my website keeps my mind busy in the creative side, because I have to think about, well, what am I going to put onto the website, and how do I say this? And so I was fully engaged in updating my website, which I can actually mention it to you that I updated my website to include an event page. So if you go to elevatelifecoaching.org/events, I made a whole event page because I feel like I keep updating people on, what are some of the events that's happening in my life and that I am hosting, that I am involved with. And so I wanted to be able to send people to the same same page and same area so that you can take a look, what resonate with you. And I don't expect you to, come to every single event. Just look for one that, sit with you and that you feel you wanted to participate. I wanted to welcome you to come to one of my events and chat with me. So I'm having this Sunday live chat. It's going to happen weekly. So I really see, if you guys haven't noticed it already, I really love to talk. I can talk all day long. So I recently upgraded my microphone for the podcast because I love to talk. I wanted to make sure that you get the best sound quality. And I've been doing a lot of live streaming too on my Facebook. So I wanted to make sure that you get the best sound quality and not just some crappy, cheesy one. So I upgraded this microphone, and I probably would hold on to the microphone for the whole entire day and I don't want to give it up. I talk. So I talk a lot. I talk to my client, I talk to the live show, I talk to my guests, I talk to on podcast, I talk on video, I talk on everywhere. I'm probably everywhere. Yeah. So basically, I wanted to invite you. So Sunday, I have this live chat, and basically my purpose of that live chat is really just creating a platform where everyone can just get together. I am not going to coach you, and I don't feel that you need to. This is, let me put it this way. I don't believe anyone needs to be coached unless they want to be coached. So you may be going through some experience in your life that you may just want to talk to someone. That's all you want to do. You don't need advice. You're not looking for any recommendation. You're not looking for any strategies that people can offer you. You just want to talk. And so one of the big quality and good thing about me is that, first of all, I am a professional coach. So I do know how to coach. And the other things that's good about me is I'm a good listener. So if someone wants to just bounce off some idea to me and just want me to listen, I'm going to be there and support that person. And I'm going to be there and to listen and not coach. So Sunday, live chat is not the place where I coach you. It's the place where you can come and chat with me and that you can give me a chance to get to know you. I love to meet you and I love to talk to you. I love to know, if your neighbor's dog is barking outside, what did you do about it? I love to know, all these little things that, no one really, probably you think that no one care about. I want to listen because it actually brings joys to me when we're making that connection. It brings me joys to know that there's another person who may think and feel the same way I do. And it's not necessarily, I don't want to do it in a coaching session. If you want my service, you know where to find me and you will find me. I know that. So I wanted to create this platform for the purpose of just a place to talk. So the time is very interesting because the time of this live chat is at 8:00 on Sunday. So every Sunday at 8:00 Pacific time. So I'm on the West Coast, Pacific time. I will have this live chat. And I was just talking to another friend of mine. She used to be she's a client of mine. She took my 10-day speak up challenge. And I shared the fact that, this is going to be at 8:00. She said, what? 8:00 on Sunday? I want to sleep in on Sunday. What are you talking about? I can't be there. But I wanted to think about the people on the East Coast. So the people on the East Coast, it's 11:00 for you. So if you ever wanted to just pop in and grab coffee, just chat with me and let me know how you're doing, what's going on in your life. And who knows? If you want to hire me as a coach, great. We can talk somewhere, in another day. But for Sunday, I just wanted to have a decent conversation with another human being. And I think, having conversation and making that connection with another human being, it's such a beautiful thing and beautiful, beautiful experience. So I wanted to honor that. And I wanted to be able to provide that for everyone. So yeah, if you got nothing else to do at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, you're welcome to pop in, and all that information, you can find it on my website at elevatelifecoaching.org/events. So I have 2 other events, the Facebook live show, which I'm hosting regularly on Wednesday. And then I'm starting a public speaking group, a public speaking club for just women. Sorry, gentlemen, this is just for women. And I wanted to creating that space and community where women feel safe to share what's on their mind, being able to articulate and speak up about what they believe in. So I wanted to be able to provide that platform. So that is going on Saturday. So definitely go and check out the event page. This is something that just came to my head yesterday as I was doing the cardio workout. And this is when the inspiration started jumping into live. And I had all these ideas. And so again, if you're really looking into developing your intuition and wanted to truly experience that, what does it mean to be in the present moment? I wanted to encourage you to start tapping into your creative side. You never know. You could be a very good drawer. You could be a very good artist that you just never really think about putting the time into it. So if you enjoy painting, if you enjoy music, you like writing poem or poetry, something that makes you happy, makes you joyful, do more of that. And I think that's what we all need especially around this time of the year. When all things happen, do things that keeps you lighthearted, that makes you feel there is hope. And there is hope. This is something that I shared just with another friend of mine earlier in an email. And I said, yes, there's a lot of things that's going on around this world. And it's completely understandable why we would have those dark moments. But there's also light in the darkness. So you decide which one you want to see. All right, everybody. If you'd like to continue this conversation, again, check out my group, The Confidence Lab for Remarkably Courageous People. And I will see you next week. Bye. Happy 4th of July. Hey, thanks for listening. In order for this conversation to continue, I would like to invite you to join my private Facebook group, The Confidence Lab for Remarkably Courageous People. This is where we can continue this conversation to bring more love, courage, and connection in helping each other and supporting each other in moving forward in our lives. If you found value in this show, I would appreciate if you can give me a rating on iTunes or Spotify, or simply share this show with a friend who may benefit from hearing it. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. If you'd like to learn more about what I do as a coach, please visit my website at elevatelifecoaching.org or shoot me an email. See you on the next show.